How's it going, y'all? Rowdy Riles back with another video, one that I'm super excited for in the Black Series, which I haven't been able to say for a very long time because Black Series has basically been asleep to me. Like, there's a few in between releases like Bib Fortuna, Bausch Leia, those are all coming up. Those are all pre-recorded and stuff. I was saving them for Return of the Jedi. I really want Wicket when I can get hold of him. But for now, we finally have Clone Wars Maul because, like, my Black Series collection is just, like I said, character here and there. I have basically everybody else, and this is one that's been missing for a long time. Got him from my pile of loot from Big Bad Toy Store, and Ahsoka is waiting for him on the shelf. So yeah, with all that being said, let's take a closer look at the box, and then we'll get this bad boy open. At last we will reveal ourselves to the Jedi. At last we will have revenge. Taking a look at the box, you can see Star Wars The Black Series at the top, Darth Maul, Star Wars The Clone Wars, open window on that side. Then of course we've got the artwork and the blurb on the back, which we'll get to. He is number 11 in the Clone Wars line, and there's that artwork continued on the side. Super sick, looks exactly like Ray Park. Figure is awesome too. Star Wars The Black Series, Darth Maul, a deadly, agile Sith Lord. Darth Maul was a formidable warrior and scheming mastermind. He wielded an intimidating double-bladed lightsaber and fought with a menacing ferocity. We all love Maul. He's amazing. So glad they brought him back for Clone Wars because we wouldn't have had Season 7 and the Siege of Mandalore without that. So with all of that being said, let's get this bad boy open. There was just an itty-bitty piece of tape on the bottom, so I should be able to just take him out. And this is probably the last time you guys will see an open window box on my channel for Black Series because all the new releases are windowless. But here is Maul, and he looks freaking sick. I love Darth Maul. Here we have our Season 7 Clone Wars Maul out of the box, and he looks great. I do have some gripes with articulation and his lightsaber assembly and all that stuff. Like, I'm really worried the middle part's going to break when you peg and unpeg them because it's just a little rod as opposed to like a D-peg like the older lightsaber had. But at least we got the accurate sculpt with the one side is from episode 1, the other side is a newly constructed lightsaber, so that's awesome. He does look great. He's got pinless legs and arms, although the arms, also the legs are single jointed, and I think that we're well beyond single jointed $25, $26 figures coming from Hasbro, considering Power Rangers has double elbows on both the arms and legs, and so does Marvel Legends. So that's really my only gripe, because it's really hard for him to hold the double-bladed lightsaber like a bow staff like he would, because those single elbows just really don't get into the right positions to do it, and especially not without messing up the integrity of the lightsaber, because that little peg is so weak and fragile and I don't want to break it. But other than that, super happy to have this super good representation of Clone Wars Season 7 Maul, because he looks really good. Lots of paint details, lots of sculpt details, different new head on him, because we've got 2 other Mauls in the Black Series, but he's definitely the coolest one in my opinion. Checking out Darth Maul's height, we can see that he stands at about, let's see, 5.5 inches, which is fine because Darth Maul's a little short king. That being said, if he got chopped in half, he could have given himself some really long legs, been like a 6'5" Daddy Maul. I'm just saying, y'all, he could have done that. Also, I gave him the Darksaber there because, yeah, as we all know, he ruled Mandalore for a couple years in Star Wars time, up until he was captured by Bo-Katan and Ahsoka at the end of the Clone Wars show. So yeah, he looks great. He's definitely a good representation of that show, but there are a couple gripes with the articulation and stuff, because he's supposed to get down and dirty because he's Darth Maul, and he just can't with these single jointed legs and arms. It's so crazy to me. Going over his accessories, I'm actually really excited about this one. Like, maybe if I get another clearance one, I'll have to get another one of this lightsaber for my custom Rebels Maul. But and for that torso piece and legs. But it's a double-bladed lightsaber, and it has, you know, half of his original lightsaber in there. Let me see if I can zoom in more for you guys. Get it focus. Half of his original lightsaber there. And then, of course, we have the new half from the Clone Wars, because he had to repair it because he lost one of them. And, of course, they both have removable blades, which these were a little bit thicker. I liked how they were on the old lightsaber. That's actually the first time I've pulled it out of there, so first experience for me as well. But that's another problem I have with the lightsaber, is tiny little pegs, because I'm worried about this one. Like, I'm worried that it's going to break, but it seems pretty sturdy. It's not too wobbly, but they just port together, as you can hear it, probably. It's really hard to click in there, but they do click together and it is straight. But I just bent it. Oh my goodness. But I do worry about that peg snapping, because repeatedly taking something out that's like stubby like that is not good for it. But yeah, those are the only accessories that Maul comes with. Just his lightsaber, standard Black Series, no accessories. Could have come with a dark saber, to be honest. So now we're going to check out the articulation, and we're going to start at the head, of course. If he's going to focus, let me zoom in a little bit. We do have that neck double barbell configuration, so all kinds of movement in the neck. That's no problem at all. Head moves separately, backward, forward. Neck helps a lot with that forward, not as much with the back, side to side, all that good stuff. Shoulders come up 90 degrees. We do have tiny little butterfly joints in there, I checked, so trust me, they're in there. We have do we have ab crunch? No, we have 2 floating ball pegs at the upper torso and the lower torso, but the torso is kind of like, see, that moves. This is the first time going through the articulation as far as that goes for me, but there is a waist cut down there as well. Single elbows, which are very tight, and is part of the problem. Like, they come up 90 degrees, but that's it. Forward and backward. We do fortunately have forward pegs on this hand and on that one as well, so that makes it easier to grab the lightsaber. Coming down, legs come that far forward, that far back. We do have a thigh cut, single knees, so strange, no butt kicking action for Darth Maul here. Rockers, which are kind of tight, but they do work, forward, backward. So, like I said, some things in articulation that I wish they would improve, but it is what it is. At least we finally got the Clone Wars Maul in the Black Series, because that's been a big one for a long time, and I'm glad to finally have him. So now we're going to do the comparisons. First up, for scale and comparison, we have our new Clone Wars Maul with our comic book Sith Apprentice Maul, who is a stand-in for Rebels Maul on my shelf until we get one, or until I get around to fully making a custom, like I said, if I get another one of these guys. But yeah, no reuse here, surprisingly. The chest isn't even the same, because it's got that double barbell system on the chest, so it's got like 2 rotation points on the new one. So like there's no reuse other than maybe like the neck, because the head isn't the same on any of the Maul figures that we have in the Black Series. And speaking of Mauls in the Black Series, here is our Clone Wars Maul with the OG Phantom Menace Archive Maul. Different shades of red here, no reuse, just like the other Maul figure, which is nice to know. Actually, they did reuse these legs and stuff for the old one, but between these two, there's no reuse, and between the Sith Apprentice Maul, there's no reuse. And here is Maul with one of his loyal supporters, the Mandalorian Super Commando, with his horns and his Maul paint on his armor. Super cool. They need an update, like 2 different versions, because this one's all wonky. This arm won't even move because I tried to glue the tube back on and some glue got in the freaking joint, so that kind of sucks. So I'd like to see a re-release on that Death Watch body, which I don't have a Death Watch Mando yet either, so, but at least they look cool together. Here he is with Ahsoka Tano, my favorite Star Wars character, and one of her clone supporters that came with her to retake Mandalore from Maul at the end of the Clone Wars, a 332nd trooper. Would like to see more clone troopers on this body, like regular ones, 501st, just a bunch, because it's a good body. The helmet's a little different than other ones. People have complaints about it, but I like it. It's a cool figure, and so is that Ahsoka. I mean, there's some inaccuracies with her gauntlets and her boots, but other than that, it's a really great figure, and I'm glad to finally have an Ahsoka and Maul for my shelf. That is so awesome that we get that Clone Wars scene. Here is Maul with Bo-Katan Kryze and one of her supporters during the Clone Wars and the Siege of Mandalore, because they were trying to retake the throne from Maul because he's a bad guy and they don't want Mandalore to fall into his hands, and they took care of that. And Maul was gone for a while, and then he came back, and then he was killed by Obi-Wan, so yeah. And of course, here he is with the man, the myth, the legend, the guy who chopped him in half and left him angry and crazy in a sewer for like 4 or 5 years, Kenobi. From the Clone Wars Target exclusive wave a couple years back. Awesome to have these two, by the way, and Ahsoka and Anakin. Any Clone Wars characters are totally welcome, because Clone Wars and The Mandalorian are two things that I hold up very highly along with the original trilogies as far as Star Wars goes, because they are very well made and constructed stories, and they have a purpose, and they're great. So yeah. And then lastly, for our Black Series comparisons, for no particular reason, here he is with R5-D4, Grogu, and Mando, the current wielder of the Darksaber. Oh, also, yes, that Mando is custom. He's got a custom cape, custom knee pad, custom head sculpt underneath, which we can't show because he's a Mandalorian. He's not supposed to show his face anymore. Shh. For some Lightning collection, here he is with the Green Ranger. For some MCU Marvel Legends, here he is with the towering Bro Thor and the smaller Homecoming Spider-Man. You can't even see Thor's face. He's so tall. There it is. For some comic book Marvel Legends, here he is with the also towering Ghost Rider and the Renew Your Vows Spider-Man, who is also towering over Darth Maul. Reality, Spider-Man shouldn't be that much taller than Darth Maul, but Renew Your Vows Spider-Man is a little large. For some imports, here he is with Ultraman and Harley Quinn, both of them SH Figuarts. They're both slightly better in scale with Darth Maul. So yeah, those work out perfectly actually. For some Moffex and Mattel, here he is with our Suicide Squad Harley Quinn and our movie masters Heath Ledger Joker from The Dark Knight, both of whom are a lot taller than Darth Maul because he's a little short king, like I said before. So with all of that being said, y'all, I will say that the Clone Wars Season 7 Maul is totally worth it, because he was totally worth it to me. While the articulation isn't the best in the Black Series lately with their single jointed, whatever that is, I don't know why they're doing that. It is great to have this representation of Maul on my shelf. It is one of my favorite versions of Maul, because Clone Wars is an awesome show and Maul is awesome. So always glad to fill gaps in my Black Series shelf, because as you can see, there's a bunch behind me. So I'm only missing a few, and Clone Wars Maul was one of them. So yeah, if you guys like this video, go ahead and smash the like button down below. Hit subscribe as well, as if you're not subscribed, so you can come back every week for my content. And of course, comment down below. Let me know what you think of this figure. Let me know what you want to see from the future of the Black Series. If you want to see double jointed pinless arms and legs like in basically every other Hasbro line, let me know down below. Let me know how your day is going. As always, I love you. I will see you guys next time, and bye-bye. Mwah.